Okay, I'm going to do a quick tutorial on turning your 2D pixel art into a 3D printed object like this. The first thing you're going to want to do is create that object, and we've been using Pisco, so we'll continue using that. This is the object I'd like to 3D print, but it's an animation right now, and I obviously don't need an animation. That's not going to work on the 3D printer, so I'm going to delete those. Now the other thing we don't need is any colors, because we can only print in one color with our printers. So I am going to turn everything into black that I want to have printed. Now I'd like the eyes and the mouth to be cutouts, so I'm actually going to make those transparent. Bam, bam, bam. And now I can have that. Now I've seen some people try to put pupils in the eyes like this or something. Now that's not going to work for 3D printing. That's not a good enough connection. So if I printed it this way, those pupils would just pop out. So I'm not going to do that. Now I could if I wanted to like add a tooth, and that'll work because that's got a solid connection. But I don't actually want to do either of those. I'm going to take that away. All right, so that's what I want. I'm going to resize it to 320 by 320, making sure both of those are checked. Click resize, and then I'm going to export it and download as a PNG. All right, that was our first step. So we created our 2D object. Now we're going to go into Inkscape. Inkscape is a vector-based image editor, and it is free and open source, so you can download it. I've already got mine started here. So I want to go File, Open, and go get that file I just downloaded. It's going to be in the user directory and then downloads, and then after all the folders, it'll be the first one after all the folders. Yep, there it is. And I can just say OK here. Now, the first thing I need to do is select it, and then go to Path, Trace Bitmap Path. I want to do it based on brightness cutoff. I'm going to uncheck Smooth and check Remove Background, and then I click Update. I'll get a little preview here. So that looks good. Now I'm going to click OK. And you just have to click OK once, and then close it. Now if I move this over, you'll notice I have two images now. The original one and the new one. The original one has that big background, and the new one has removed the background as we told it to. So I know this is the original. I want to delete it. I'm going to bring the other one back, and I want to File, Save As. We want to save it as a plain SVG file, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and save it in the desktop. Okay, now we finished that. So we've got our SVG file. Now we need to go into Tinkercad. And Tinkercad is also a free piece of software that's online that lets you create 3D designs. So I'm going to create new design. You will have to get an account if you don't have one already. And I'm going to import that file that I just exported. So there it is. Yep, looks good. Okay, it's really big, so that's too big. So I need to select it. Now, if I don't select the Shift key 2, I'm going to be able to mess with proportions, which maybe you want to try to do. I'm going to Command Z that out. But if I hold the Shift key down while I'm doing the resizing, it'll keep the proportions, which I'd like. Now we want our objects to be about that size. Then you can move it on the platform. Because this is a 3D object, we have this tool over here that lets us see everything. That's a nice height we want. And then there's all these other shapes you can add or work with for creating 3D things. For our first print, we're just going to use this object. But after you've successfully done one, you'll be able to come back to Tinkercad and create up a storm. The final step here is that we need to export it so it's ready for 3D printing. So we click Export. We want to do the selected shape, and we want to download it as an STL. Okay, and it's going to give it some weird name. I'm going to have you go in and change that to your name.stl, and then we're going to put it on a thumb drive. All right, good luck.